If you don't know some anymore, we worry no. Imasuen Amowie Zodowa. I want to quickly make a quick funny response to some write-ups that I've seen recently on social media, where they are saying that we the Benins, the true Benin sons who are happy, who are happy that the artifacts, the great Imasuen stool and Isee stool, coronation stools, were both returned from Germany through the NCMM, which we are very happy about. Thank God that Tijani Nite Arewa Nite Onite Divert Artifact of Imagerewa or Sanudazi Nikao or Binanima or Mujan Obama Abigame mi ma emeba mi egwa emne gwanya emeba mi edo emne donya. So I've heard a lot of colleagues and friends who sort of I'm curious why they could come so low to the extent that they are not saying that the major reason that these artworks has value is because they were all scattered in Europe. That reminds me of the principle of the Hermetic hypothesis that anything that is blacks don't appreciate it generally. So for the blacks to condescend to the fact that they believe that the Benin artifact will lose their value because they are now returning home to the rightful owner. So it is quite very unfortunate that African blacks have condescended themselves so low to have that kind of primordial thought. These are the reasons why the whites will continue to supplant or surmount us, because of how we think, and how we view things. So I want to categorically state it that they also said that we have no structural organization to manage these prized artworks. The question that we can easily raise is the British, before the British came to loot this artifact or stole our artifacts without our permission in 1897, and when it was looted, it has stayed in the European and American museums for a period of about 128 years or thereabouts. But some of these artworks were already 300, 400, 500 years old, safe and sound, well preserved by the same Benin people. So someone who has stolen someone's property and held it for 120 years old is telling those who own it, that has preserved this artifact for more than 500 years old, that they don't have the sophistication and means to preserve it. It's shame on how some of these European so-called people think. And let it be noted, so you cannot tell us. A thief is not telling the owner of a property on how to preserve it. If the owner said that he's not going to preserve it, now we are and other places, spiritual places within Eguana Esona, we are with time it doesn't really concern you people. A thief cannot tell the owner of what to use his property for. So that's a point that must be taken. So whether the Benin preserve it or not, whether there is a museum to preserve it or not, it doesn't concern you. We own it. The terms and conditions of what we want to do with it is strictly by the exclusive thoughts and ideas of the royal house. Aside that, Aweta wa be kion wa hwe. Awa kion. When I mean a kion emeo Obama no nyati. No nyami eh. O me awa be kion wa hwe. Awa kion ebo de nyonya. You understand? So it is so nyonya. So it's the custodian of this prize artwork. So what you know about it, this matter, whether we preserve it or we don't preserve it, does not concern the Europeans and these backward African black thinkers. So it's our property, it's our legacy. We decide on what we want to do with it. It is not in your place, in the first place. It is not in your place in the first place to decide for us on what to do with what we own. No state government, no federal government, no European world powers, no whatever can decide that for us. But all we have always pleaded for is that these things should be returned to the right owner. We are happy that they have seen reasons that a criminal does not have any moral justification to accentuate what he or she stole. So there are no moral justification. Return these things to the rightful owner and expunge from your brain of whether it will still have value or not. That does not concern you. The most important thing is that what belongs to the Oba, to Benin Kingdom, must be returned back to them. So, and when you do that, remove your mind as to what henceforth will be done with it. If there are proper restitution that you must, because so we are going to keep talking about these things. These things, we appreciate those German government who brought this, and we appreciate the Sweden government that are working hand in hand with the palace to return about 39 more artifacts. So we will be very happy for we to have all of these things rightfully returned to us. Waya was Obama talk by he said, "Ni mo Imasuen Amowie ezodowa. Obi wano or she wano. Waya was